Irish, and it hurts me. It hurts me. It's affected me directly.
In the late 1980s, Williamsburg and Greenpoint in northern Brooklyn began to attract a new population of young artists and other creative people. Drawn by the abundance of cheap industrial spaces and easy access to Manhattan, these new arrivals began to change the local culture. Williamsburg slowly became the new Bohemia, a destination seen by the media as the cutting edge of a hip, urban lifestyle. Williamsburg was now the place to be for young people from all over the world. This change took place despite the presence of established working-class communities of Latinos, Italians, Polish, and Hasidic Jews. A newer, hipper Williamsburg began to draw the interest of New York's powerful real estate industry. Wealthy developers imagined immense profits from creating a new frontier of luxury housing on the waterfront. The city government supported this vision, and in 2005, the neighborhood was rezoned to allow for massive luxury development.
A lot of you know why everybody's here with smiles on their faces. The redevelopment of Greenpoint and Williamsburg has long been at the center of our administration's five-borough strategy. Earlier this afternoon, the Zoning and Franchise Subcommittee of the City Council's Land Use Committee approved a historic plan to rezone the waterfront areas of Brooklyn. It will permit the construction of up to 10,800 units of housing.
This is a monumental, historical level of achievement.
In 10 years, I can't imagine what Williamsburg Greenpoint is going to look like.
Now, despite thousands of vacant condos, lost jobs, and broken promises on affordable housing and parks, another domino is set to fall in the transformation of Williamsburg and New York City.
What you've got going on is a wholesale slaughter. You know, like you've got it cutting through everywhere. You can walk a block or half a block or just turn the corner and right away be exposed to some new development that follows these models.
Now that this is suddenly waterfront and luxury, they're like, oh, how about you move out to Corona? Or how about you move out to Canarsie? Why don't you move someplace else? And it's, I think, the continual push of the low-income person to a different neighborhood is unfortunate because it costs communities.
It's rubber. This is rubber stamping. Matter of fact, they're both rubber, and they're one of the last factories left here in the neighborhood that are still active.
Every 4th of July, the Spanish families, we used to set up picnic tables here. We used to open the water pump, put a sprinkler on for the kids. But now you can't do that no more.
But you've got to have someone performing some of the, I hate to say it, lower class jobs, the lesser educated class jobs. They've got to have a place. A job like this to any of the work, to a couple of my guys, is food on the table. That's what it means to them. It means living and surviving.
To me, I know how to survive, but I don't know what's going to happen with my kids, you know, in terms of the housing, particularly in the housing, because to me, I got an option. For me, I already thought about it. As the years go by, but I didn't think about my kids. If they decide to stay here, it's going to be difficult for them, very difficult.
For almost 150 years, the Domino Sugar Refinery on the East River waterfront was one of the largest employers in Williamsburg. In 2005, the Domino site was purchased by the Community Preservation Corporation and Brooklyn developer Isaac Catan, with plans for 2,200 residential units and towers up to 40 stories tall.
Domino, CPCR, have spent a huge amount of money lobbying the city council already. The speaker, the mayor's already publicly said in a Daily News editorial he supports this project.
Who's building Domino is the for-profit arm, and these are bankers, these are developers, these are rich people building housing for rich people.
Good morning, Chair Weprin, council members. Thank you very much for holding this hearing. My name is Susan Pollack. I'm the project manager for the Domino Sugar Project, work at CPC Resources. It almost goes without saying that the new Domino is a landmark in its unwavering commitment to provide 660 units, 30% of the project's total, as permanently affordable.
Affordable has this really it doesn't have a real definition, and that's the biggest travesty out of everything.
Affordable housing through most of these lotteries is aimed for income levels much higher than most of these people make, so they're not even eligible to apply for what the city calls the affordable housing that's supposed to replace what they're being gentrified from.
So what about the people who live on a fixed income like myself? You know? And I don't understand these politicians, what they're up to and what's going on here.
No! Affordable housing, yes! 40 stories, no! Affordable housing!
And since we've lost the plant of Domino Sugar, we've lost our jobs. Now we look forward to just trying to preserve our community, our culture in Williamsburg. This, I present to you, is the new Domino Sugar.
A lot of land use is theater now. You know, bring a bus full of poor folk, bring a bus full of minority folk, bring a bus full of union people, you know, and put on a show.
But working closely with multiple representatives of the Williamsburg community, we have crafted a balanced proposal that includes all the best things an urban environment can offer, and that is unprecedented in its scope.
If you dust off the old urban planning playbook from the 60s, this was the same way it was done. You get the clergy. When you get the clergy involved with a development, the clergy then goes to the flock and tells the flock that this is good for us. Well, you have to realize, you know, a lot of these groups have already in the past received funding, low interest loans from CPC, the not-for-profit part of CPCR, the developer of this project. So there's already a connection.
Housing, yes! 40 stories, no! Affordable housing, yes!
Sacrifices have to be made in order to achieve this primary goal that a city government needs to achieve, which is housing for people of the lower economic strata.
It started, you can't stop it. What's going to happen with a lot of people? They're going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt, they're going to suffer, they're going to lose their houses, they're going to have to find someplace else.
You put in those buildings, that neighborhood will not be the same. Because 600 people in apartments is not going to be equal the massive amount of people that are pushed out and the massive amount of change that's going to happen to the neighborhood.
With our tax dollars and the help of city, state, and federal governments, rent has doubled. Thousands of jobs have been lost, and a thriving, diverse community is being pushed out. In this 21st century landscape, who is responsible for shaping our cities? More importantly, what can we do to protect our communities?
I mean, it's an octopus. And you know, and they're relying on that. I mean, anytime a bank is involved in anything, man, you must pause. When you've got a consortium of banks, you gotta do more than pause, you know? You gotta interrogate.